Listen to me. I'm going to tell you some real hard truths after studying this and helping so many of my clients to be able to attract elite men. And I'm going to tell you, one of my clients, she was dating this man. In 5 months, he bought her like a Lamborghini. He bought her a luxury car. 11 months later, he proposed to her and he owns his own plane. I'm talking about attracting those kind of men. And this man adores her. That's a requirement. If all he has is money, then he's broke in every way that matters. You don't have to compromise. You don't have to pick either a broke guy or a man with money who doesn't know how to treat you and just use you as an object. I'm here to teach you how to be able to have both, and this is how I discovered it by accident. So I found myself literally homeless because I dated and chose a Build-A-Bear to have a child with. And this is after graduating with honors, pre-med biology, getting accepted to medical school, and then finding myself struggling to be able to feed myself. In that moment, I decided that I was gonna make my daughter a promise because I knew that I let her down. I knew I was too good for this, and I promised her that mommy was going to break the patterns because I ended up doing what my mother did, what my grandmother did, on both sides. I settled for a Build-A-Bear who was abusive, and I ended up with nothing. And so many of you have ended up in the same situation. You have the intelligence, you have your own stuff, you have the potential, but then you fall in love and then you end up risking it all on a man who has nothing to add to your life. Absolutely not, no ma'am. So in order for me to keep my promise to my daughter that I was going to break the pattern of attracting dysfunctional relationships in our family, and I was going to show her what elite high-level love looks like with your romantic best friend who loves your soul. And I was going to buy you a big house with a big backyard. In order for me to keep that promise, that required for me to tap into what my expertise is, which is science. And I went on a dating experiment where I went on over 100 dates in a little over 3 months and interviewed over 4,000 men, women, and couples. And I read hundreds of books on love, dating, relationships, the psychology of men, what triggers a man to be attracted to you, what biochemically wires a man to be attracted to you. And as I was experimenting, I kept trying different things, right? And I went from getting played all the time. And when I tell you I got played, y'all, it was ugly. It was absolutely insane. I've been abused, I've been cheated on, I've been Build-A-Beared, like you name it, I went through it. But when I learned what I learned in my dating experiment, it literally upped the quality of men that I were attracting. I was attracting men who didn't own a house. They owned an estate. I was attracting men who went from having excuses to actually owning a portfolio. I was attracting the kind of men that were in their masculine energy and who wanted to pour into me, who wanted to give to me, who wanted to make my life easier. And so I went from these broke guys to attracting the kind of man that bought me a house when we were simply dating because I said I wanted one. Because one thing about wealthy men is they're very generous when your feminine energy triggers them to go into provider mode. And I teach women how to be able to do that.